Hey there, good to see you. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the A major and A minor shape bar chords. Now, if you've been working on the E shape bar chord, you're going to know that, yes, these are more difficult to play, but you will get them. It'll just take time. Now, the A shape chord is slightly more challenging than the E shape chord, but I'm going to show you a different way to play it that will hopefully make it a bit easier for you. So let's take a closer look at the fretting hand. Here is our open A major chord. Now, instead of using our first, second, and third fingers, we're going to use our second, third, and fourth fingers so that our first finger is now available to place and use as a bar. All right, so let's take our A shape and move it up to the 5th fret, just to make it a little bit easier to play. Again, it's a little harder sometimes going back here and placing our bar there. You have to press down a little bit harder, so we're going to move up to the 5th fret just for now. And you're already going to notice it's a little bit of a stretch. It's quite a big stretch, actually. So what we have to do is now our bar, when we're back here, where there's no bar, the nut is our bar. Now we're moving the bar to the 1st fret, and then every time we go up, we move it up one more fret. So here we are again. Our other fingers are on the 5th fret, our index finger on the 3rd fret. Now this is how you would play the A shape bar chord. Now I'm going to suggest doing something a bit different because this chord is actually really difficult to change and use in a song. Like if you're on the E major using the E shape bar chord, just changing to that shape is just not the easiest in the world. It's really difficult. So what we're going to do is, instead of using our 3 fingers, we're going to use our 3rd finger as another bar. I know this sounds like it might be harder because we're using another bar, but trust me, it is easier in the long run to use 1 finger there instead of the 3 fingers. So what you have to do is you've got to use your 3rd finger to press down the D string, G string, and B string. And then you're going to notice on this joint here, I've got it really bent so that I'm not also barring the 1st string, the high E string, because I don't want to do that. I want to bend this finger enough so that it gets out of the way, and even if I'm muting this E string, it's not the end of the world. That's totally fine. That will probably happen, and it's the way that most people will play it. They don't even really often will play that high E string, so it's okay if that's muted a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place your 1st finger, use that as the bar. One thing that I should just make mention of once we start placing our 1st finger as the bar is when we're playing this shape, the only note that we're really hearing with our 1st finger is this one right here on the 5th string, the A string. Again, because likely the 1st string, the E string, is going to be muted. So, and the low E string, we're also going to mute that one as well. And typically, what I would suggest is using your 1st finger, kind of sliding it up there a bit, just to make sure it's just touching the edge of the string to mute it. So we're actually muting that low E string with our index finger, and then we're playing just the 4 strings there. You're going to eventually notice that once you do start changing between the E shape and the A shape, it's a whole lot easier than using these 3 fingers. Okay, that's the way that I would recommend playing the A shape bar chord. Now, if you are using your 1st finger as a bar, you want to remember that we're angling our finger about 45 degrees. We're not using the flat part. We're angling it a bit so that we can use more of the bony part. So we're turning it just slightly so we can get enough pressure, and then we're going to place our other finger, our third finger. So let's try strumming the chord once, and then you're going to pluck each individual string. All right, now let's take a look at the A minor shape bar chord. It's really the same idea, same principle, where we're taking the shape of the open chord and then just moving it around the neck, just like we were with the E shape, the A shape, the E minor shape, and now the A minor shape. So we're going to take that same shape, now using our second finger, third finger, and fourth fingers. Now we're just going to slide it really anywhere. Right now in these examples I've been using the 3rd fret as our bar. Alright, so we're just going to take that shape and just slide it anywhere on the fretboard, and that will give you a minor chord depending on where we are. And I'm going to explain how to find what chord we're moving to in a minute. But this is the shape that we're doing. So again, we've got our A minor shape. We've got our first finger angled slightly so that we're barring the 3rd fret on the 5th string and the 3rd fret on the high E string. So if we take the A minor shape off, essentially what we're doing is barring that note, so the 3rd fret on the 5th string, and then that note right here, the 3rd fret on the high E string. Make sure your wrist is in a good position. You don't want your wrist out like this. Again, it's going to make it really difficult for you to play, and you're also going to feel some tension and stress there that you don't need, especially when you're playing bar chords. You've got your thumb, the back of the neck, so it's applying a good amount of pressure. You want your fingers nice and round. You don't want them flat like this, or else you're going to start muting some other strings and you won't get the pressure that you need. So make your fingers nice and round. You're going to angle your first finger. Alright, so that was the A major and A minor shape bar chords. Now let's take a look at how we find the right chords along the fretboard. So just like with the E shape, we're using our first finger to determine what the chord is that we're going to be playing. We're going to be doing the same thing with this A shape. So when we're playing the open A chord, the 5th string, our A string, is playing the root note. So that means whatever note we're playing on the 5th string becomes the name of the chord. So right now, going from an A up 1 fret is an A sharp. So that means we're playing an A sharp major chord, or B flat. It's the same thing. Then if we move up another fret, this note becomes a B. So that means we're playing a B major. In this case, if we make it a minor, then we're playing a B minor shape. If we move this note up again, now we're playing a C, so this becomes a C major. And I'm going to go back to using these fingers, this shape. Now C minor. Now we've got C sharp, so this is C sharp major, C sharp minor, D, D major, D minor, And then you can go all the way up the neck. But it's really important that you know the notes on the 5th string. So in order to know what chord you're moving to, you have to know the notes, the names of the notes on the 5th string, on the A string. And that'll be really, really important for you to be able to find your way around using these bar shape chords. All right, I hope that helped. Get working on that. Get your fingers strengthened, and eventually you'll be playing bar chords all over the neck. I'll see you in another lesson very soon.